truth live from where they decree it. Sylvia speaks, no filter, no buffer. Courtroom drama couldn't get any tougher.
When the gavel's first bang, to the witness stands tears. Sylvia's lens captures all your hopes and fears. Uploading justice one trial at a time. Tune in every moment, edges sublime.
Welcome to the Sylvia Show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show. Welcome to the Sylvia Show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show. Faces tell stories, the courtroom can't hide. Sylvia's insights cut through the divide. From jury talks to the lawyer's secret. In Sylvia's world, you know you'll need it. Behind the scenes where whispers are loud, her lens reveals the truth in the crowd. Courtroom secrets laid bare to see. Stay curious with Sylvia Spree. Every objection, every sharp retort, Sylvia's there to give you the report. Exclusive footage no one else can snag. From catchy headlines straight to the tag. Welcome to the Sylvia Show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show. Welcome to the Sylvia Show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show.
Faces tell.
Hey guys, I am back to give you part 2 of our exclusive footage from the trial of Jackie Johnson. All right, here we go.
Records. We had done a lot on the case. The fact that it was in Atlanta, or the financial crimes, it didn't start out there. The GBI had done a lot of work on it, and my office had done a lot of work on it. There became an issue in the case. We were prosecuting. There became an issue in the case concerning the collection of restitution. There's several funds that the clerk's office has. And there became an issue in the case regarding whether or not there had been some involvement in a restitution fund for victims' restitution. If a person is sentenced to a case, they have to make payments, and sometimes that goes through a clerk's office, or at the time it had. And there had been an issue with regard to any of that, and whether or not my office and people in my office had some knowledge about some money going missing with regard to some of the cases we had sentenced in the restitution. And Ms. Jamsky actually had come to me and had made some statements concerning what was going on in the clerk's office, which I felt probably made me a witness, and possibly some of the people in my office a witness in the clerk's file case. So even though that we had initially done a lot of work and I was on a track to prosecute that case, I felt at this point that our office needed to step back, because it was going to put the DA's office and DA's office employee witnesses at odds with the clerk's office on the first floor, whom we had to work with, because we possibly were going to be witnesses, including me, based on some of the conversations that Ms. Jamsky was coming and having with me and people in my office. Based on that, I wrote that recusal letter, obviously. I wrote that, and I was sitting at my desk in Woodbine and drafting out and putting as much information as I could in there. And I mentioned in there Chuck Spahos. I'm not sure, do you still have that? That was State's Exhibit. I believe that was 11 maybe. Can you put that back up?
You're looking for 13?
Or 13, whatever we just admitted. Yes. If you'll look at Chuck Spahas, he's down in the third paragraph down. I have also spoken with Chuck Spahas at the Prosecuting Attorney's Council regarding this case. Chuck and I had discussions about, I knew that the Prosecuting Attorney's Council had a financial crimes, some specialties in the area. And I had talked with Chuck. I had reached out with him prior to calling sending the letter to the Attorney General and ask him if it was something that the Prosecuting Attorney's Council would be willing to get involved in and take over. And he had indicated that they would. And in fact, I think Mr. Spahas ended up getting appointed to handle that case by the Attorney General. So that's what was going on. We had done extensive work on the case and had to get out midstream.
So you have the state's exhibit number 12 up there. That is a conflict letter that you sent as well, correct?
Yes, that was August 20, 2015.
And that's your signature at the bottom, is it not?
Yes, it is.
And that is a letter that you sent, correct?
Yes.
All right, Your Honor, at this time, state tenders into evidence, state's exhibit number 12.
12 is tendered. Any objection?
No, sir.
Received.
May I publish, Your Honor? Thank you. Showing you state's exhibit number 12. This letter here, you're requesting that the Attorney General assign counsel in a case that's listed above, correct?
Yes.
All right. Case hasn't been indicted and the defendants are currently out on bond, right?
Yes.
In the next sentence, you indicate that Waycross DA George Barnhill has been consulting with the GBI during the investigation and may be interested in handling it, right?
Yes. The that particular case was they called it the Wedding Crashers case. There were actually three, I believe, sheriff's deputies showed up at what was deemed by the press to be a wedding reception. It was actually a party out in the yard, I think, and there had been a wedding, and there was an altercation that resulted in shots being fired and somebody breaking a leg, somebody going to the hospital. It was fairly serious. It involved some Camden County deputies that had pretty close associations with my office down in Camden County, so I knew we couldn't be involved. Richard Dial, the GBI, initially the sheriff's office was working in the case, and then they brought the GBI in. The GBI agent that came in after the fact was Richard Dial. And he called me and told me about it. And I said, we're going to have to conflict out. And he told me, I understand, but I need to talk to somebody. And he actually reached out to George Barnhill on the Waycross circuit because GBI actually does work for his circuit as well as my circuit. So that actually came from Richard Dial before the case ever came to my office. And of course, I passed that information along to the Attorney General's office. That case never came to my office. From the warrant stage on, it was handled by Mr. Barnhill.
And the second full paragraph says my office will continue to keep victims informed until new counsel can be assigned, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now I'm going to show you what we've marked as State's Exhibit 11. This is a conflict letter that you sent as well as past, correct?
Yes.
And that's your signature at the bottom, is it not?
Yes.
All right. And that is the letter that you sent to the Attorney General's office, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, state tenders into evidence, State's Exhibit number 11.
No, sir.
Received.
May I publish, Your Honor? Thank you. Can you see State's Exhibit number 11?
Yes.
Right. Now, in the first paragraph, you indicate that you're requesting that the Attorney General assign counsel to represent the prosecution in these criminal proceedings and the forfeiture, correct?
Yes.
You then list the charge, the defendant's name in the venue, correct?
Yes.
All right. In the following sentence, you say the PAC is aware of your conflict and has previously provided assistance in the pending forfeiture case, right?
Yes. So I reached out to the prosecuting attorney's counsel. If I wasn't reaching out to George Barnhill or Tom Durden, I was calling Atlanta because the prosecuting attorney's counsel had prosecution units. They had a special domestic violence prosecution unit. They had a special forfeiture unit. I believe they had a financial something from time to time, but I went to Atlanta for the trainings on the prosecuting attorney's counsel has an office in Atlanta, and I actually knew one of the persons that did the forfeitures, and I knew Chet Spahos, who was the director at the time. So when we developed the conflict, this was a doctor in, I believe, Appling County, and the sheriff's office had seized some of his assets. And it was not, if there was anything somewhat complex that I knew that the prosecuting attorney's counsel had some expertise on, I would reach out to them and ask if they would take the case. And then I would include that in my letter, as I did here with the Attorney General.
Showing you what's already been admitted as Defendant's Exhibit 4. This is your conflict letter from this case, correct?
Yes.
You did not indicate in this letter that George Barnhill had already reviewed anything, correct?
No, we had, over the years, I had been going to PAC trainings, prosecuting attorney counsel trainings. And one of the things that had come up is they had said, put as little as possible in your letter, because the district attorneys were having problems with the attorney general telling them they didn't have a conflict and sending the case back to them. And so one of the things that they had told us in the training is, number one, don't tell them much information. And number two, don't suggest what attorney or district attorney or prosecutor you want them to handle the case. And so I stopped suggesting anything, and I pared down my letters as a result of those trainings. So at the time this happened in 2020, I did not include much information in the letter. I always tried to put in there whether or not there were arrest warrants and whether or not there was the person was in jail, because if the person was in jail, that meant that it's probably going to show up pretty quickly on a court calendar, and someone from Waycross, Atlanta, Hinesville is going to have to come to court pretty quickly. And if there was a situation like that, it was not uncommon for me to go ahead and reach out. And typically what I did is, if the case was in Appling, Wayne, Jeff Davis, if it was in any of those counties, I would reach out to Tom Durden, because his circuit is just north of there, the Atlantic Circuit. If the case was in Camden County or Glenn County, I would typically reach out to George Barnhill because he was the closest.
Now, you indicated earlier that Mr. McMichael had been calling Mark Spalding, correct?
I did not have any firsthand knowledge of that, other than if I found out about that after I saw the phone records in this case. But at the time, I didn't know that unless Mark told me, he's called, will you call him back? That was typical, because Mark was the office manager here in Glenn County. And typically, if something was going on and someone couldn't get in touch with me, they would call either my investigator, Bill Darris, or they would call Mark Spalding. He was the office administrator.
And do you recall the last 4 digits of Mr. Spalding's phone number?
No, not right now.
I show you a copy of his cell phone bill. Would that maybe help refresh your recollection?
Not with something more, no.
Okay, if it has, I'll show you and see if it does. There it is. Is this phone number 3358? You can scroll up and down and look at it. It's Verizon.
The bill you have does indicate that there's Mark Spalding, and the last 4 digits are 3358. But I didn't know his number. I just know that it was stored on my phone.
So I want to go back to the timeline. I know we kind of got off the timeline a little bit. The day 2 days after the shooting is Tuesday, correct?
Yes,
And we can agree that that is the first time that the conflict letter went up to the Attorney General's office, right?
it was dated February the 25th. We actually wrote it that day. I was at Vicky's computer when she prepared it. I thought that it went on the 25th, but I found out later when I was looking at records in this case, it actually did not go up until Wednesday, the following morning at, I believe, 9:19 in the morning.
When you say you were at Vicky's computer when you prepared it, I mean, are you sitting across from her and while she's typing, are you standing over her shoulder, moving her hands? How is that going?
She called me. She was actually typing the letter and said that she needed some help. And I walked in and I stood by her computer. And what we changed was, instead of having warrants, which is typically what we have, warrant numbers or a case number, all I had was an investigation, and we changed that part. And very little did I do to change anything other than that. And then I said it was good. And at that point, I thought she sent it. I had my name was stored in the computer, so they didn't need me to sign things for them to go.
So, and you indicated that the next day that Wednesday was the day, I believe, that the second email went with the same conflict letter.
No,
Correct.
the first conflict letter was written on the 25th, which was a Tuesday. It was emailed up to the Attorney General's office at the email, David McLaughlin's email, the person who I had always used to send the letter to, on the Wednesday at 9:19, I believe. Vicky's email was at 9:19 on Wednesday. That's when it went up.
Okay. And then that's the second letter, correct?
That's the first letter.
First letter. Second letter goes on Thursday?
The second letter goes on Thursday, and the only reason we sent the second letter was based on communication from Ms. Crittenton that we had sent it to the wrong email address. And I'm sure at that point, Ms. Crittenton, whatever questions based on her testimony and based on my recollection, I would have told Ms. Crittenton that I had already contacted Mr. Barnhill.
Okay. All right. So,
I will clarify that. I never suggested it didn't matter to me who they appointed. That would not be something that I suggested to her in that conversation. I just told her when she asked me, I told her I had already made contact with him, which was not uncommon.
so did you use George Barnhill's name?
When she asked me about the case, yeah, she asked me, she said she was going to assign it. And I said I had already reached out to him if she wanted to call him. And that was the extent of it.
All right. So do you recall giving an interview to Bob Morgan a couple months later?
That was the one that you played on yesterday. That interview was on May 11th.
Okay. Do you recall being asked in that interview whether you spoke to the Attorney General's office?
I did that interview on May 11th. The video came out on May 5th. And before I did the interview, I looked at the two emails, the two letters I had sent, which you've seen them. I didn't suggest or recommend anyone. And I didn't. And I told Bob Morgan that was my recollection at the time. That's still my recollection. The only thing that's different in what I've was on that radio and what I'm testifying to today is I think it's that I answered when she called me. I answered her questions. That's what I did.
Okay. And maybe I asked a bad question, but did you deny talking to the Attorney General's office to Bob Morgan?
I didn't call up there. I responded to them contacting me, but no, and I can tell you at the time, my recollection is I hadn't talked with anybody, but at the time I was looking at those two letters when I did that interview.
Okay, so at the time of the interview with Bob Morgan, what you're saying is that you didn't remember talking to the Attorney General's office. Is that fair?
That is fair, yes.
Okay. Now, do you remember talking to the Attorney General's office?
I believe the testimony that Ms. Crittenton gave is consistent with what happened.
But I'm asking you, do you remember doing it now?
Do I remember contacting the Attorney General's office? I never contacted the Attorney General's office. Ms. Crittenton contacted me, and I think I returned her call, but I answered what she asked me in response to that, and based on her testimony, my recollection is refreshed as to that. I will note that Ms. Crittenton uh, is an employee of the Attorney General's office. She works for them. She's actually the paralegal for Mr. Fowler. And the prosecutor who handled this case at the grand jury was a person by the name of Blair Gowan. She's the person I actually sent the second letter to. You'll see her. You'll see her name in the second letter that I sent on Thursday. I wouldn't have contacted them and sent a second letter if they hadn't contacted me and told me that we had sent it to the wrong place. There would have been no reason for me to do that. Ms. Crittenton was never interviewed by the GBI, and for some reason, certain witnesses were recorded, they're transcribed in the grand jury, but Ms. Crittenton's testimony was not.
Objection. This is beyond explanation.
Thank you.
You can answer the question and explain.
But I don't dispute Ms. Crittenton's recollection that we heard for the first time in here.
When you were a few minutes ago talking about one of these conflict letters, I don't recall which one, maybe you can help me remember. You said that you were concerned that you had become a witness. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay, which one was that? I can bring them up to you and show you if you need.
It was the clerk's office, Mr. Morton.
What about that made you concerned that you needed to recuse your office from the case because you're a witness?
The clerk at the time had come to me and other members of the district attorney's office and made statements concerning the theft of the funds, as well as the fact that I'm not sure it ultimately ended up being what the conviction was for, but there were some funds in that office that my office had involvement as far as restitution and fines and things of that come to the courthouse. We would have imposed the fines. We would have imposed the restitution at the time we were doing the sentencing. And then, of course, victims that we were dealing with and defendants we were dealing with would be dealing with the clerk's office regarding distribution of those funds. Those were reasons why I felt myself and employees in my office may be potential witnesses in the case.
Okay. And because you're a potential witness as the district attorney, you can't be a prosecutor. You can't be what we call an advocate and a witness, right?
It's kind of like if you would call your paralegal to the grand jury and have them testify on your behalf. You couldn't do that as a prosecutor. I couldn't take my assistant and have them come in, for example, and testify on my behalf as the prosecutor.
So what you cannot as the district attorney, I mean, you understand the difference between a constitutional officer. You're smart. You know the difference between a constitutional officer and anybody else, right? An employee of the district attorney's office, right?
Yes.
And so you know that if you have an employee, say an assistant district attorney who is a crime victim, you can actually erect what we call a Chinese wall or an ethical screen, and the district attorney can still prosecute the case, right?
Who is the crime victim?
An assistant district attorney.
I don't think my office has ever prosecuted a case. I'm trying to think of an instance where we would have prosecuted a case where an actual assistant DA in my office was a victim of a crime. I know of one case that comes to mind, and that was Andy Beaver. He was a victim of a burglary in Jessup. And Tom Durden's office, we actually conflicted out, and Tom Durden's office in the Atlantic Circuit handled that case. It would not be an actual conflict, I guess, to answer your question, but it's typically something that I didn't do. Based on my recollection.
That's kind of what I'm getting at, though, is it's not an actual conflict. You can put up an ethical screen and say, this person cannot have anything to do with the conversations involving plea negotiations, litigation, anything like that. And the DA can still prosecute the case, right?
There were instances like Mr. Kelly or Judge Kelly was talking about this morning where there would be a case where we had a conflict out of the Camden office and another office would handle that in the circuit. A good example is I had a case here in Glenn County on a county commissioner, and I asked an attorney out of my Camden office to prosecute the Glenn County commissioner so that it was not the same office. So yes, you could do that.
You can. Okay. That's what I was looking for. You can do that. All right. But at the same time, you, the district attorney, because you're the chief prosecutor with the constitutional authority, you can't put up an ethical screen or what some people call a Chinese wall and have your folks that are your subordinates prosecuted. You can't do that, right?
If I have any type of conflict, an actual conflict, the entire office is out. Yes, that's correct.
All right. So earlier when you were saying you could be a witness and you indicated you can't be an advocate and a witness, because you're a witness, that completely disqualifies your entire office, right?
There are certain ministerial things that possibly I can think of where I would be a witness to something that would be ministerial, but generally speaking, no. If I have a conflict, it conflicts out the entire office because all of the assistant DAs get their authority from me.
All right. So when you say ministerial duties, you can do things, paper, pens, maybe schedule court, give somebody information on when there's court, those sorts of things. But what you can't do is things like go to court, litigate, make plea offer decisions, those sorts of things, correct?
Correct.
All right. Judge, I know we've been going for a while. I don't know. I saw the
Yeah,
court's
well,
face just a moment ago and
It's been 2 hours. Everybody okay all right.
Okay.
We need-
might have a no.
I appreciate you telling me that. Don't discuss the case among yourselves, listen to the discussion of it. Let's take a 15-minute break.
All rise for the jury.
All right, the jury has left and we'll take 15 minutes. Folks, from now on, when I dismiss the jury, until the jury is out, remain quiet, okay? Until the jury gets out of here, remain quiet. And you can talk all you want to, but quiet until the jury's out.
Your Honor, did you say 15 minutes? Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor,
Yes.
if you didn't get it, and I could get a hard copy. We sent the,
Kathy I would like a hard copy, but Kathy told me that she got it.
okay, thank you, sir. Do you need a hard copy?
As long as we're email copied, we're fine. Thank you.
Sure.
Is that what you're supposed to send them? Is that what you're supposed to be sending tomorrow?
This is the recording from the newspaper. Case happened.
The child molester investigate. They used to be because I was more careful, and that's hard to do.
I'll bring it back up when it looks like they're going to testify again. But I wanted to answer some of you guys' questions. Hold on a second. Brandy asks, this is a recap Gloria, this is from February. There was a trial from the DA, which her name is Jackie Johnson. She was the DA who recused herself during the Ahmaud Arbery case. And this case had been on like on a back burner for a while because of the COVID and all that kind of situation. And so they finally went to trial. And then the trial, it turned out that Mr. Steele submitted a motion, basically that to throw it out, and the judge ended up taking Mr. Steele's motion, and because he gave some case laws and things like that in regard to her oath of office that she had signed, and something that did not match or something like that, and they end up throwing the case out during the trial. Hey, nephew. Nephew, did you take your medicine today? You was living in, yeah, I remember that too. Guys, I have a great case that's gonna come up. Oh my God. I got 3 new cases that I am looking at. I ordered the phone calls, and I ordered the indictment as well as the police report. Oh my God, you guys are going to be thrilled. This is in Cobb County. I'm going to be doing a lot of cases in Cobb County. And then the other one, 2 is in Cobb County and 1 is in Spalding County, which is in Griffin, Georgia. So I will be in Cobb County on the 22nd. When is the 22nd? Next week sometime, right? I'll be in Cobb County. There's a couple of cases I'm doing there. And I am so excited because nobody else is doing it, and I'm going to be doing it by myself. So I'm pretty excited about that. You hate commercials? What commercial you hate? Yes, next Thursday. What commercial you hate? You hate commercials. Oh, okay. 1, the 2 in Cobb County are both unaliving cases. Yes. 2 commercial, I mean, 2 hey, Gloria, that's how I get paid. The commercial. That's how I get paid, because I don't get the super chats and stuff like that like all the other people. So I have to do high commercials on my stuff. I gotta do high commercials so I can get some payment. I know you hate it, but that's how I get paid. I'm Gary put in my Rule 22 for Cobb County. Oh, I never gotta figure out how to do Cobb County Rule 22. That's what I gotta figure out. I gotta call 222 for Cobb County. I'm trying to check that out. Rule 22 County Superior Court. Let's see. Okay, there it is. I got it. It is ordered a form. Okay, there we go. Okay, there go Cobb Counties. There it is. Judicial proceed. They have a certain way of doing things. Each county has a different way of doing their Rule 22. Device, recording device and cell phone. Okay, there you go. Yep, Superior Court. I got that. Okay. That's Supreme. That's Supreme Court. I don't want the Supreme Court. This one says Superior Court. That's Supreme Court. I need a Superior Court. I need Cobb County. Let's go. Okay, that's not the one, yo. I need a Cobb County one. That's Supreme Court. We don't want Supreme Court. We want Cobb County. Come in.
This is so good.
You like it?
I've been killing it.
Yeah, I made some Rice Krispie treats, a caramel mixed with milk chocolate. Dallas is first tasting it for the first time, y'all. And she's killing it. She said it's so good, y'all. You know it's so good, right? Oh. Gloria, say hi, Dallas. So I'm trying to get the Rule 22 to go on this case. So they keep showing me the Superior. I don't want the Superior Court one. I need the one for Cobb County because I need to know where Cobb County wants theirs sent to. You know, their clerk, she got arrested. Remember, y'all? The county clerk of I'm gonna call them. I gotta call them on tomorrow to see where they get their stuff sent off to. And you know what the thing too, the parking stuff over there, you gotta pay that parking, and that parking be a killer. It's not as much as Fulton, but it's a killer too. You know what I'm saying? Ah, these people and their high prices. Their high prices. Yeah, I need to call them. And then I gotta get down there. Next month. I'm gonna go for Miss What's her name's case. I wonder how long. Okay, should I go ahead and fast forward it so we don't be here all night? Yeah. You on your iPad? You're on your iPad. Okay, she says, I want to come to go with you, but I don't drive on Atlanta Expressway. What part of town do you live, Gloria? What part of town do you live? Yeah, so what you said it's next Thursday, right? You said that's next Thursday? You said I left my car at Fayetteville Airport for 2 weeks and I paid $40. That's excellent. That is excellent. I mean, imagine if I parked my car in Atlanta Airport for 2 weeks. That'd be like almost a car note. Yeah, so I'm going to tell you about the cases. Okay, you see how they could record during this thing? Hey, Naughty Land. You see how they could record? Y'all see, I had to delete my live from this morning. They need a widened lane in Atlanta expressway. They're too narrow. Yeah, that's true, Brandy. They do need to widen these lanes, and they've been doing that on 20. Dallas loved that. She make me want to go get some now. Some of that Rice Krispie. I got caramel on it and chocolate. I put that semi-dark chocolate on it. Oh my God, y'all. The Rice Krispie treats are so good. And I put peanut butter in it too. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. That's what she was bragging about. She was bragging about how good it tastes. Oh, she back on the stand. Hold on, y'all. Okay, let me turn it back up. Hold on.
All right, bring him back.
All right, time for me to shut up.
All right, everybody ready? Go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. All right, I'm putting up on the screen State's Exhibit number 3. Can you see that?
Yes.
All right. Now, State's Exhibit number 3 is your oath from 2010, correct?
Correct.
And this is your name here, Jackie Johnson, correct?
Yes.
The county is Glenn County, correct?
Yes.
That's the county we're sitting in now, right?
Yes.
And you do swear or affirm, do you not,
Yes.
that you will faithfully and impartially and without fear, favor, or affection discharge your duties as district attorney, correct?
Yes.
When we go underneath that, can you see that paragraph that's kind of condensed in?
Yes.
The paragraph that is condensed in, it kind of goes a couple lines, and I want to direct you to the line that I am pointing to here. Can you see where I'm pointing?
Yes.
Do you see where it says that I will support the constitutions of the United States and this state?
Yes.
Now I'm showing you defendant's exhibit number 11. It may take you a moment to review them, but my question is this. You would agree with me that that inset paragraph, the one that begins, I do further solemnly swear or affirm, is exactly the same language that you have on your 2010 oath, correct? Or do you need a moment to review them? It's okay if you do.
I believe they're all the same. Yes. As far as that language, yes.
And the language up here is exactly the same, except the "so help me God" is located here at the end, correct?
Okay.
Would you agree with me, or do you need to see it?
They look the same to me.
To be clear, the one I just showed you a moment ago, defendant's exhibit 11, is the oath that you were under on February 23rd of 2020, correct?
Yes.
As someone who is running for or has run for office, well, let me ask it this way. Prior to the election, your last election, you had run for office before, correct?
Yes.
All right. How many times had you run for office?
It was a special election in 2010. I had no opposition. There was an election in 2012. I ran, contested. And there was an election in 2016. I had no opposition.
And when you're running for office, you would agree with me that the idea is obviously to get the most votes, right?
Yes,
Okay. And by getting the most votes, you either win the office or you retain the office, correct?
you retain it or you lose it. Yes,
Or you can win the office if you had not previously been in the office, correct?
yes.
And you were aware that you were coming up for election that year, towards the end of the year, is that fair?
I was on the ballot in November 2020, yes.
And the shooting death of Ahmaud Arbery occurred approximately 9 months beforehand, right?
February 23rd, 2020, yes.
So we can agree also that this overall, that the release of the video and sort of the uproar may have had an effect on your subsequent election, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And you were receiving some bad publicity following the release of the video, correct?
I didn't consider it bad publicity. I considered it, I mean, it was awful. I mean, it wasn't that I was concerned about it being bad publicity. I was concerned that Ms. Jones and Mr. Arbery thought that I had covered up the murder of their son. I mean, that wasn't bad publicity. I mean, that was awful.
All right. So prior to that, had you had any public meetings with anyone?
I had a lot of public meetings at the time, yes.
About the Ahmaud Arbery shooting?
We had a meeting with 4 pastors here in the community. I did. I met with the county police and the county commissioners and the pastors at the police department on May 4th before the video came out.
The day before the video came out, correct?
Yes,
Now, on May 3rd, you would talk to Tom Durden twice, correct?
yes, I talked to him on May 3rd, yes. I think I talked with him on May 4th as well.
Talked to him on May 4th. Now, Mr. Durden has passed away since, correct?
Yes, Tom died.
All right. Nobody was around for that phone call or anything like that. It was just you and Mr. Durden, correct?
I don't know about Mr. Durden.
Well, as far as you know, no one else was around. Is that fair?
Yes,
Okay. You didn't record the call or anything like
no,
that? Did you record any calls that you may have had involving this case?
no,
Did you take any contemporaneous notes about any calls you may have had in this case, whether they were with Mark Spalding, whether they were with Greg McMichael, whether they were with DA George Barnhill, anybody like that?
no,
Okay. And to the best of your recollection, did you ever pass along any information about this case to Greg McMichael?
I passed along the same information I gave to him, I gave to the family on April the 6th when Mr. Barnhill, I read his letter. I told Greg McMichael and I told Marcus Arbery and his brother that they may see something in the news about there being a self-defense determination by Mr. Barnhill, and that this case was not over. It was actually just beginning because it was being passed on to another district attorney, and that the investigation was still very much ongoing, and that district attorney would make a decision on the case independent of whatever they might see in the news or on the internet. And that was on April 6th.
Your Honor, may I have one moment? Thank you. I have no further cross-examination for this witness.
Anything on redirect?
Very briefly, Your Honor. I just want to make sure this is clear for the jurors. On Monday, May 4th, 2020, when you called Attorney General Christopher Carr, it's already in the records.
Yes,
If you need an aid, with the court's permission, can Mr. Kokumo
That's fine.
display? instead of the records, the jurors can find it, is Mr. Attorney General Christopher Carr's phone number ending in 0801. And you'll be able to see it in a minute. Is that true?
Yeah, he actually sent me a text on that date with his phone number, and that's how I knew the number to call.
That's
Yes.
fine. But I'm just saying, if the jurors want to look it up in the phone records, that's the number, that's the time, that's the date.
Yes.
Thank you. No other questions, Your Honor.
Any recross?
No, sir.
All right, thank you, man. You can step down. You have other witnesses, Mr. Steve?
Yes, can we call Chief Angela Smith?
Chief Angela?
Yeah.
If you'd like to sit down, that'd be fine. Raise your right hand for me. The evidence you'll give is sworn or affirmed to be the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Put your hand down. Speak loudly enough, of course, so that all members of the jury can hear you. Introduce yourself for us, please.
Interim Chief Angela Smith,
Spell your name.
ANGELA SMITH.
Everybody here fine? All right, keep that volume for me.
And where are you interim chief?
City of Brunswick Police Department.
And can you give a history on your, from maybe education to your career in law enforcement to the jury, just so they know who you are?
I hold a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and a master's in organizational leadership. I began my law enforcement career at the Brunswick Police Department in 2005. Since that time, I've held positions in the patrol division, criminal investigator for more than 8 years. I was a sergeant on patrol before being promoted to captain of support services in 2015. 2018, I returned back to criminal investigations as the captain of criminal investigation, where I oversaw the day-to-day operation of the division. And in 2022, I was appointed assistant chief of the Brunswick Police Department. And as of February the 1st, I became the interim chief of the department.
Congratulations and thank you. I'd like to talk with you and please explain to the jury, did you have any, when I say you personally, as well as your division, the Brunswick Police Department, have any authority, involvement in the murder investigation of Ahmaud Arbery?
We did not.
I'd like to talk with you specifically about, do you remember when, if you saw it, a video of the killing of Ahmaud Arbery was shown on social media?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Do you remember the date by any chance?
I believe it may have been March the 4th. I'm not real sure of the date.
That's fine. That's fine. The jurors have heard it. But it's the day that it came out for all of us to see, not just, you didn't have any preview of that video, did you?
That's correct.
All right. Did you, when you watched that video, prior to watching the video, what was your understanding of what happened to Ahmaud Arbery?
That a burglary had been committed in Satilla Shores and he was killed during that burglary.
And who was committing the burglary?
Ahmaud Arbery.
When you watched the video, was that anything like you were told?
No, it was not.
What was your opinion when you watched the video of Ahmaud Arbery being killed?
In my opinion, that he died at the hands of another and it was homicide.
Homicide, also not justified.
That's correct.
Murder.
Yes.
Did you end up speaking with Jackie Johnson about when that video came out?
Yes, I did.
And did you have any information Jackie Johnson saw that video before it came out on social media when you saw it as well?
Not until after I had spoke with her.
What did she tell you?
At that time, she said she saw the video when everyone else saw the video. When the video was released was her first time reviewing the video.
And what did she say about it?
She said, Angela, I thought it was murder.
I want to thank you very much.
Hey, Chief Smith, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing fine. So had you communicated with Ms. Johnson prior to the video about the Ahmaud Arbery case?
I had not.
As someone, as chief of police, you kind of have to wear a lot of hats. Is that fair to say?
That's correct.
You got to do everything from maybe 911 center to administrative to criminal investigative division. You got to kind of have knowledge of all that sort of stuff.
That's correct.
It's a busy job.
Yes.
All right. And in your knowledge of criminal investigative division, sometimes the Brunswick Police Department has to investigate murder cases, those sorts of things.
That's correct.
All right. And when you're investigating murder cases, one of the things that can matter a lot is the thing that comes out of a suspect's mouth, correct?
Correct.
And so, because what that can tell you a lot of times is it can give you an idea of their intent, right?
Correct.
What they were thinking that day.
Yes.
And it could also give you an idea of, at the time of the shooting, what were they trying to do? And if so, were they trying to fix things afterward, that sort of stuff? Is that fair?
That's fair at times, yes.
Okay. And you're aware that one of the people who were convicted of killing Ahmaud Arbery is a man by the name of Greg McMichael, right?
Yes.
Okay. In your meeting with Jackie Johnson, where you all were discussing how awful this video is, did she tell you that she had a voicemail from Greg McMichael the day of the shooting?
I did not meet with Jackie Johnson when we discussed this video. I believe it was a brief phone conversation, and we did not discuss Greg McMichael at all.
Okay. So you did discuss the murder that happened on the video, though, right?
Briefly. What we discussed was the basis of that conversation was there was civil unrest all over the United States. And so as a law enforcement officer, my concern was for the community.
Absolutely.
And all the things that had hit the media, I felt like it was important for Jackie as the prosecutor to address the public on the next steps after the video had been released. That was my only concern at that time.
Okay. And did she indicate to you that she had a voicemail on her phone from Greg McMichael the day of the shooting?
I don't recall that.
Okay. Did she indicate that she ever had any kind of voicemail or that she had ever spoken with Greg McMichael about the case?
She did indicate that she had not spoken with him verbally on the day of the shooting.
Okay. Any other time?
No, we didn't discuss anything further.
Did George Barnhill come up in the conversation?
Not at all.
Okay. I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Any redirect?
No, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Call your next witness.
Retired GBI agent Kelly. First name is Larry.
Larry Kelly. Come on down, please, sir. Raise your right hand, please. The evidence you'll give is sworn or affirmed to be the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Have a seat. Speak loudly enough so that all members of the jury can hear you. Begin by introducing yourself and spell your name for us.
My name is Lawrence, Lawrence, Kelly, Kelly. I go informally by Larry.
All right, thank you. Everybody here?
Good afternoon. Would you do me the courtesy and introduce yourself to the jurors by born, raised, education, career, if you don't mind?
Yes, I was born here in Brunswick, grew up in the Atlanta area, in the suburb of Atlanta. Attended the University of Georgia on criminal justice degree. Left UGA early due to family issues and then returned later to graduate. I started my law enforcement career as a University of Georgia police officer in 1999. Moved from there to the Georgia Rural Congress and Authority Police, which is a state authority, in 2001, and then transferred to the GBI in 2006.
And with the GBI, what type of cases did you?
Initially, I was assigned to the Medicaid fraud control unit, and we worked elder abuse and Medicaid fraud cases against providers. After that, I was transferred to the Region 14 field office here in Kingsland, where I started out as a general field investigator, working everything from white collar thefts, burglaries, all the way up to homicides and officer involved shootings.
And are you still with the GBI or have you retired?
I'm not. I retired in June of last year.
Okay, well, thank you for your service. I'd like to ask you and direct your attention to the murder of Vermont Aubrey. Do you remember the date? And if you don't, it's fine that it occurred.
Yes, February 23 of 2020.
And were you involved in any way in the investigation of that case?
Not at that time. Later I became involved, first in an investigation of threats made around several parties in that case. Then in the investigation, the GBI's investigation of the death itself. And finally, I did a couple things for Agent Steinberg in his investigation of, or one thing that I don't remember in his investigation of D.A. Johnson, former D.A. Johnson.
Okay. I want to ask you if you remember the date that you first got involved. You called the threats. Just explain to the jurors what you're talking about and the date.
On April 29th of 2020, I was notified of a request from both the Glenn County Police Department and the Brunswick Judicial Circuit District Attorney, who was at the time Ms. Johnson, regarding communications made to the McMichaels, both Travis and Greg McMichael, Lee McMichael, who was the mother/wife, and the Greg McMichael's daughter, and Travis, several friends or former employers of Travis McMichael, as well as additional communications made to the Glenn County Police Department that were deemed possibly threatening. And I was instructed to initiate an investigation to determine first if they reached the level of terroristic threats, which is a pretty high standard, or if they were general first, or if they were considered First Amendment activity. I initiated that investigation that afternoon on April 29th.
Okay. And you said that Jackie asked GBI to look into that investigation along with other agencies.
Right. The first request came from the Glenn County Police Department, Chief Jay Wiggins. And my understanding from my briefing by my supervisor was that we had also been requested by D.A. Johnson at the time.
Okay. While doing that threats case, did you also have an opportunity to work on the murder of Vermont Aubrey at the same time at that time?
I did. It was several days later after the video was released. During the threats case, I had interviewed Gregory McMichael pursuant to the communications he had gotten. During one of the calls, he had called me back after I ended our interview, and he stated that there was a video. I later saw the video, and we pretty quickly got involved in the investigation of the actual death of an Aubrey after the video came out.
Do you remember when the video was shown to the public?
I don't remember the exact date. It was a couple of days after I spoke with Greg McMichael, which would have been on April 30th. Okay. So it would have been the first couple of days of May, probably.
Okay. And did you see that video when we all saw it, when it went on social media, or did you see it privately?
No, I saw it on YouTube for the first time. I mean, I did eventually look at it in much more greater detail later as I testified to in the Aubrey trial, but initially I saw it on YouTube.
Okay. When you first saw that video, what was your impression?
It was horrible. I didn't, I guess I can say it in this one. I couldn't say it in the other. It looked like somebody was being lynched. There was no, I couldn't see any reason for force to be used. And reviewing, I mean, part of my job was to review body cam videos and dash cam videos. And I saw no reason for force to be used in that case. Just looking at the video, and then later that bore fruit in the investigation.
Before you watch the video, does May 5, 2020 sound right for the date? And if it doesn't, just don't.
Yes, it would. Like I said, we worked the threats case for approximately a week before the video came out. So yeah, that'd be about right.
All right, then before May 5, 2020, when the video was released to the public, What was your understanding of how Ahmaud Arbery was killed?
Initially, I had heard rumors that it would be that he'd been shot after being involved in a burglary. When I was briefed by Agent Carson, she said that there was some controversy over the facts of the case, and the case had been investigated by Glenn County PD. DA Johnson had recused herself. The case had been turned over to George Bonhill, who was the Waycross Circuit DA at the time, who had also case was now being reviewed, or at that time was being reviewed by Tom Durden, who was the Atlantic Circuit District Attorney. That's pretty much all she went into at that point, because the facts of that case, the threats, as far as the threats case is concerned, really weren't all that material. It's whether or not anyone threatened the people involved. Later, I learned, much more of the facts of the case during the investigation.
Now, after you see the lynching of Ahmaud Arbery, May 5th, 2020, did you come into possession of some voicemails that were left on Jackie Johnson's cell phone from Greg McMichael?
I did
ladies and gentlemen, jury.
On, I believe it was May 7th. Again, Zach Carson advised me to contact Jackie Johnson, reference the
Can I
threat.
stop you a minute?
Sure.
Some people may not know what you mean by SAC.
Special Agent in Charge, Stacy Carson. She is my supervisor. We have an ASAC, which is Assistant Special Agent in Charge, who was Richard Dial at the time, who was the case agent on the Arbery investigation. And then SAC, or Special Agent in Charge, is his boss, and she's the head of the local GBI office.
Okay, I stopped you. So I'm asking you about voice messages from Greg McMichael left on Jackie Johnson's cell phone.
Yes, and she told me to get with Jackie, that Jackie had apparently had some evidence. So I called Ms. Johnson on, and she volunteered that she had several voicemail messages, other items that her investigator had collected from both, I think, her personal cell phone or her work cell phone. I'm not sure which. And the work phones of her and her office manager, Mark Spalding.
But Jackie Johnson had evidence turned over to the GBI through you.
Correct.
And she did that voluntarily. She was the one who.
As far as I know, I was told to contact her that she had apparently had something. She also volunteered Greg McMichael's personnel file, which we would have asked for eventually, but we hadn't asked for at that point.
And Jackie Johnson voluntarily gave that to the GBI, who was investigating the murder of Ahmaud Arbery.
Yes.
I want to thank you so much, sir. Your Honor, I don't have any other questions.
Any questions?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Agent.
Afternoon, Scholar. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing well. Good to see you again.
You too. So while I'm kind of collecting some stuff from up there, I want to ask you a little bit about the voicemails. They were turned over to you, correct?
They were.
All right. And can you tell me again who turned them over to you?
Initially, I spoke to Ms. Johnson about them, and she asked me to meet with her investigator, David Moore, who would be coming up to Brunswick at the end of the business day. So I met with him on exit 38 to get the items.
And what was the date again of that?
Can I check? I believe it was May 7th, but I'd like to double check. Yes, I met with Investigator Moore about 4:35 on May 7th, and I had spoken with Ms. Johnson earlier that day before lunch.
And as far as you know, the voicemails were not turned over to you until the GBI got involved. Is that right?
That is correct.
All right. Now, I want to turn to the threats real quick. And you said that the GBI was requested April 29th of 2020. Is that correct?
That's when I was notified of the request. I don't know if it was sometimes requested the 8th day to get processed through the.
That's what I was about to ask. Sometimes does it wait maybe a day or two before it's assigned?
Yes, sometimes, but in this case, I don't know whether that's the case or not.
All right. I'm going to show you what's been admitted as Defendant's Exhibit 5A. You won't be able to see it for 1 second. You see the date on the top of that?
Yes, it's the black date is Friday, April 3rd.
Okay, of 2020?
Yes.
Were you asked to investigate these threats?
Yes, that one from the Justice, I think it's the Justice Code, was one of the ones we reviewed.
Okay, all right. And you would agree with me, this was Friday, April 3rd, right?
That's what it says in the black letters at the top. I couldn't tell you from just the Facebook page.
And the request did not come until around April 29th of 2020. Does that sound right?
That is correct.
That's all I have, Judge.
Anything on redirect?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Other witness?
Hey, Sharon. Thank you, Clifton. It's taking a long time to get started again.
All right, thank you, Judge. Gonna call Liberty Stewart, please.
And I still don't keep you on my schedule, but I told you I'm 24. Y'all are good with that, huh? Yes, sir. Well, that's good, man. You can have a seat if you like. Oh, you already. Raise your right hand for me, please. Do you have any sworn or affirmed to give the truth, so help you God? Face the jury, speak loudly enough so they all can hear you. Introduce yourself and spell your name.
Yes, sir. I'm Liberty Moore, Liberty, Moore.
Everybody here good? Or here well? Okay.
Proceed. Thank you. I made the mistake of introducing you when we called you in as Liberty Stewart. You were previously Liberty Stewart, is that correct?
That is correct.
You are now Liberty Moore,
That is correct.
Moore, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do me a favor, if you would. Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you do for a living.
I work at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, currently the acting senior advisor to training. I teach law enforcement legal courses.
You are an attorney, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Would you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury a little bit about your background and work history?
So became an attorney in 2011, November of 2011, but in February of 2011, I began as an intern at the district attorney's office upstairs here in Glenn County. After becoming an attorney and getting my bar license, Ms. Johnson hired me on to be one of her assistant district attorneys. I was there until December 31st of 2020.
December of 2020. What was your position in the office? I know you were an assistant district attorney. Did you have a title beyond that?
I did. Toward the end of my career, I guess for the last year or couple of years, I was the managing attorney of the Glenn County office.
What did the managing attorney of the Glenn County DA's office do?
For the most part, I tried some of the larger crimes that came through our office, but then also assisted with, I guess, delving out or handing out other case files to the other attorneys to make sure that all the cases went where they needed to go.
It sounds like you were in somewhat of a supervisory capacity. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to kind of tune into a particular time period. And you are familiar, of course, with the death of Ahmaud Arbery. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall what day you were first notified of that incident occurring?
It was a Sunday. I believe it was February 23rd.
Okay. Would you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, please, whether you were contacted by anyone with the Glenn County Police Department on the afternoon of February 23rd of 2020?
Yes, sir. I was actually headed to a birthday party for my then father-in-law, and on our way to go pick up a birthday card for him. I received a phone call from, it was Stephanie Oliver's number. As soon as I answered that telephone, Stephanie put Stephen Lowry on the phone with me, who went through a series of facts.
Okay. Would you tell us just briefly and just generally what it was that you were advised of?
Yes, sir. So Stephen got on the phone. I asked what they had. He mentioned the McMichaels by name, and then he just said that Travis McMichael, who's the son of Greg McMichael, had witnessed somebody coming out of a house that was being built. He said that this individual, he believed this individual was the same one that had broken into a vehicle of his where a firearm had been stolen. At that point, he had had a previous engagement with what he believed was the same individual, at which point he went back inside because that individual reached for something. Then on this date, when he saw that individual coming out of the house, believing that the individual was burglarizing that house, he went and got his father. Him and his father got in the vehicle with their firearms and followed that individual that he had seen coming out of the house. At some point, the vehicle stopped. At that point, the individual approached Travis. He grabbed for the shotgun that Travis had, punched Travis, and then I don't remember if he said Travis shot or the gun went off. And then he said the word decedent. And I said, whoa, stop. Who's dead? And he said the individual they were following. I said, okay. I said, what are you asking? And he said, we need to know if there is enough for an arrest or if this is self-defense. And I said, that is not an answer that I can give, and it will not come out of my office.
Is it fair to say that you knew in speaking to this officer that there was an issue with your office, and when I say your office, you're a representative of Jackie Johnson, Jackie Johnson's office, having any input, any involvement in the case, given that Greg McMichael's name was involved in this case.
That is correct. Greg McMichael had been one of our investigators, and so I knew that case would not be handled out of our office.
Did you offer any opinion, any advice, any direction to anyone with the Glenn County Police Department in that conversation?
All I said was, I will try to find you somebody who can find you somebody to help you.
All right. Did the conversation end at that point?
Yes, sir.
Who did you speak to next?
I attempted to call Ms. Johnson twice, didn't reach her. Attempted to call John B. Johnson, who was our chief assistant district attorney. Didn't reach him either. So I called the managing attorney from the Camden office, Mr. Rocky Bridges.
All right. Did you have a conversation with Mr. Bridges?
I did.
And did you advise him of the information that you had been given to that point?
I did.
All right. Did you subsequently learn that, and did you put Mr. Bridges in contact with either Stephanie Oliver or Stephen Lowry?
I did. I told him that I would just give him, and rather than us playing telephone back and forth, I would send him Stephanie's number if he could give them a call to see if they could do anything.
All right. It sounds to me, and you tell me if I'm correct, that you were pretty much out of it in terms of any conversation at that point on that day. Is that true?
That is correct.
All right. Did you have a subsequent conversation with Ms. Johnson?
My phone says I did.
Okay. Do you recall speaking to her at some point that evening?
Not as far as what we discussed. Like I said, I was at a birthday party for my father-in-law. We were cooking low country boils, so I was in and out of the house and rounding up kids and everything else. But I know I spoke to her. I believe I would have told her exactly, hey, here's what I got told. Here's what I told them. Here's what I called Rocky.
All right. Fair to say, though, that in your mind, based on what you'd heard, based on the individuals involved, the office that you worked with was not going to be involved in this case. Is that fair to say?
That's absolutely fair to say.
All right. I want to move forward a little bit to the next day. The 24th of February, 2020, were you in the office?
Think I'm tracking? Yes, sir.
The Monday?
Yes, sir.
All right. This building?
Yes, sir.
All right. And let me cut to the chase. Did you have any further involvement with the investigation into the Arbery death? Any conversations with any subsequent DAs? Did you have any involvement in the case whatsoever?
No, sir.
I want to talk to you about a conversation that, if there were any conversations that you would have had with Ms. Johnson. Did you in fact talk to Ms. Johnson about anything involving this case?
Just going back to what had happened on the 23rd. So you're talking about the next day, the Monday.
Well, did you have any conversation with her about it on Monday?
I don't remember having a conversation with her on Monday.
Was that week, do you recall that week there was an indictment that was being proffered on the police chief here in Glenn County?
That's correct. And that's where most of our focus went that week.
Okay. I want to ask you about March, a specific date.
Okay.
In early March of 2020. Do you recall any conversations that you and Ms. Johnson would have had with any representative of the Arbery family on March 4th of 2020?
I do remember that.
All right. Would you tell me how that came about?
I believe that Gary Cook, who is a citizen here, that I've known Gary for a really long time, well before I came to the DA's office. But he had called. It was my understanding that there had been no information. The family was trying to find out some information.
When you say the family, we're talking about?
Mr. Arbery's family.
Okay.
And so Mr. Gary asked if we would meet with the Arbery family.
It sounds like this request came from, now, Gary Cook, the name that you just mentioned. Was it your understanding that he was an acquaintance of or related in some form or fashion affiliated with the Arbery family?
That's how I understood it.
Okay. Were you tasked with either setting up a meeting or joining a meeting that involved Mr. Gary Cook and other individuals?
Yes, sir.
All right. Was there in fact a meeting?
There was. It was actually on the third floor.
Now, who all were in that meeting on March the 4th of 2020?
It was myself and Ms. Johnson. I believe Mark Spalding was there, who was kind of our office manager,
Okay.
as well as Gary Cook came with Mr. Marcus Arbery, and I believe Mr. Gary Arbery,
Okay. Who did you understand Marcus Arbery to be?
Ahmaud Arbery's father,
And who did you understand Gary Arbery to be?
his uncle.
Okay. What was your understanding of why the family was there?
They just hadn't received any information. So in the conversation that we were wanting to have with them is, here's the process. And that it was being conflicted out of our office. It was not in our office as far as the investigation goes. And as soon as the DA's office that had that case file, as soon as they got through with it, if the Arbery's were not happy with the decision that was made, then Ms. Johnson would ask for another DA's office to be put over the case to look at the case again.
I presume that you had some conversation with Ms. Johnson before the meeting actually began. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Did you know then that Ms. Johnson, let me ask it a different way. Was it your understanding that Ms. Johnson was willing to and wanting to meet with Mr. Arbery, two Mr. Arbery's and Mr. Cook in regards to answering any questions they had about the process?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it fair to say that you knew on that day, by then, because we're talking March now, that the case was not in this DA's office, it was being handled by a different DA's office? You were aware of that, is that
I
fair?
was aware of that, yes.
Okay. To tell me whether or not, in your mind, it would have been appropriate to discuss any of the details of the investigation?
Absolutely not. And I don't know that we had any.
So we have so there's this meeting going on, and was it in fact your understanding this meeting was sought by the family, by Mr. Cook, Mr. Arbery, and the other Mr. Arbery? Is that your understanding?
That is correct.
Okay. Where did the meeting take place?
We were in our conference room on the 3rd floor.
All right. How long was the meeting?
Maybe 15 minutes.
Is it fair to say that Ms. Wanda Cooper Jones was not present for that meeting?
She was not.
At the time that this meeting took place, did you know what was the nature of the relationship between, for example, Marcus Arbery, the father of Ahmaud Arbery, and Wanda Cooper Jones? Did you know whether they were together or not?
I did not.
Okay. Did you know whether or not Mr. Arbery, Mr. Cook, and the other Mr. Arbery were there at the behest of the entire family, or whether they were there by themselves? Did you know any of that?
I never asked, so I did not.
Okay. Did Ms. Johnson have a conversation with the family?
Yes, the family that was present, yes, sir.
And would you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what she shared with them? Just in, not verbatim necessarily, but what was the topic of the conversation? What did she share with them?
She wanted to make sure that they knew that if once the current DA's office that had their case, if they were not happy with the outcome or the decision from that DA's office, that she did not mind going to ask the AG's office for another conflict attorney to look over the case. And then she followed that up. And then once that secondary office looks at the case, if you're still not happy with the decisions being made, then I'll ask again for your case to go to another DA's office to be looked at.
Did the family appear to be, and of course this is your observation, I know you're not in anyone's mind, appear to be satisfied with the information that has just been shared with them by Ms. Johnson?
Yes, sir, and they thanked us for the meeting.
Did that conclude the meeting at that time?
Yes, sir.
I want to ask you whether or not on the following day, which would be the 5th of March, 2020, whether you had occasion to have any conversation with a Wanda Cooper Jones.
We did.
Okay, would you tell me how that came about, please?
My assistant at the time was Ms. Blythe Kelly. I'm not sure where I was in the office. She said, I need you to come to your office. We've got a phone call. I said, okay. So as we were walking back to my office to field that phone call, she said, it is Ahmaud Arbery's mother on the phone. I said, okay. So we went in, put the phone on speakerphone. I told her that we were there and asked her if I could help her. She was very angry, and was mad that we met with the family. She, not verbatim, but basically said, why are you meeting with my family if the case is conflicted and not in your office? And I tried to tell her, we're just trying to explain the process, because it's not in our office. But we want to make sure, I said, Ms. Johnson wanted to make sure that your family knew that if you were not satisfied with what came from the DA's office that did have it, that we would ask for another DA's office to take a look at it. That was very hard to get a word in edgewise, because rightfully so, she lost her son, but she was very angry.
Did Ms. Cooper Jones appear to, obviously she knew that you had, your office and Ms. Johnson had met with the father the day before. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
And at the time that you met with, I want to jump back a little bit. At the time that you met with Marcus Arbery and Gary Arbery, did you assume that whatever information you shared with Marcus and Gary Arbery would be relayed to the rest of the family? Was that your presumption?
That was my presumption. I just assumed she just lost her son. I don't know that I'd have been in a place to be able to meet. So she sent the men of the family.
Yeah, that's what you thought.
That was my assumption.
Why was it important for Ms. Johnson, that office, yourself, to have a conversation with the family to explain the process? Why was that important?
The Arbery's were victims of the community. So we wanted to make sure that they didn't get lost when the case was sent to another DA's office.
Does that sometimes happen when there is a recusal or a transfer of a case from one office to the next?
It does, just off of geography. It's hard for victims to go to another office. And so sometimes, yeah, it does happen, unfortunately.
So there's this
All right, y'all. Okay. I think this.
any additional communications with, and again,
It went out. Okay.
your office is not investigating the case.
Correct.
But did you consider the office, and I keep saying your office, maybe Ms. Johnson's office, to be one that was victim-centered, so to speak?
Yes, sir.
In April, was there an additional meeting with anyone in the Arbery family?
There was.
Okay. Does April 7th sound about right?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall what, if anything, was going on around that time?
It's my understanding that about the day that Mr. George E. Barnhill from the Waycross Circuit had sent a letter to Captain Tom Jump.
Okay. Was that a letter where Mr. Barnhill was essentially indicating that he was recusing himself from the case?
That is correct, along with other additional information, but yes.
So what impact, if any, did the knowledge that this letter had been sent and this information had been put out there, what, if anything, did that do to the office? What was the thinking in the office at that time?
We wanted to make sure that the Arbery family didn't hear about that from the news.
Was there a meeting on the 7th with Mr. Marcus Arbery in regards to that particular matter?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me how that came about, if you recall.
And I don't remember if I got in touch with Gary Cook or whether Mr. Spalding got in touch with Gary Cook to set up that meeting.
Who all were involved in that meeting?
The same folks as in the first meeting. So it was myself and Ms. Johnson, Mr. Spalding, Mr. Marcus Arbery, Mr. Gary Arbery, and Mr. Gary Cook.
Okay. Where did y'all meet?
This is past COVID had hit. So we actually met in the jury assembly room across from this courtroom.
Tell me I heard you say already that you wanted to make sure that the family knew. And this is the family that you'd communicated with before, is that right?
The same exact members.
All right. What was the purpose of that meeting? What were either you or Ms. Johnson intending to share with the family on that particular meeting?
My assumption was to let them know that Mr. Barnhill over in the Waycross Circuit had come up with a decision, and we knew what his decision was, and that he had recused himself. So the case file would be going to another district attorney's office.
Is that the discussion that Ms. Johnson had with both Mr. Arbery's and Mr. Cook?
That is correct.
How did that conversation go?
Started out cordial. And then as Ms. Johnson explained about the letter and the reason behind the recusal, basically once the word self-defense came out from the letter, Mr. Marcus Arbery stood up and began pacing. And then
He was upset?
yes, best way to put that.
I mean, at this point, we're at April the 7th, where we're a good ways past where Ahmaud Arbery had been killed. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Would it be correct to say that Mr. Arbery was frustrated with the fact that there had been no resolution at this point, and that somebody, in this case, Mr. Barnhill, was even mentioning the fact that this may have been justified or was self-defense or something like that?
Objection calls for speculation.
Rephrase the question.
Well, Mr. Arbery was upset?
He was definitely upset.
Did Mr. Arbery appear to be upset based upon the information that Ms. Johnson was sharing with him about what was in the Barnhill letter?
That is correct. That's when he became upset.
If I were to ask you whether that meeting ended not as amicably as the first one, would that be accurate?
Very accurate.
Nonetheless, from your observation, did Ms. Johnson seem interested and concerned in sharing that information with Mr. Arbery?
Yes, and she reiterated again that if they were unhappy with the DA's office that had been conflicted the case the second time, that she would ask for a third office to be able to take a look at it.
Did you, Ms. Moore, have any further contact with either Gary or Marcus Arbery after that?
No, sir.
Okay. One moment, please. I know that the office was not involved in the investigation, but do you recall when the video came out?
I do.
Does May 5th sound about right?
Somewhere right around there.
Remember having a conversation with Ms. Johnson?
I do.
Is it your understanding that Ms. Johnson, Jackie Johnson, essentially became aware of the video and saw it pretty much when everybody else did?
Yes, sir.
Were you able to observe what her reaction was upon learning or seeing the images in that video?
I don't know that she's ever watched that video. I know that as we were sitting there, we were actually meeting with another prosecutor out of Cordele. I think that's where he's out of. And she had asked me about the video. I hadn't seen it. After our meeting on other business had concluded, she was on a telephone call, and I pulled up the video and I watched it. After she concluded her telephone call, she said, "Have you seen the video?" I said, "I actually just watched it while you were sitting there." And she said, "What do you think?" And I said, "I think it's a video that no mother should have to watch."
That's all I have.
Cross-examination.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Moore, right?
Yes.
Got it. Last time I think we chatted, you were Ms. Stewart, right?
Correct, Mr. Fowler.
All right. So I want to start. You talked about the first meeting on March 4th with Gary Cook and the family, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that meeting up until that point, to your knowledge, had you had any conversation with the victim's family?
Not to my knowledge.
When I say the victim's family, I'm talking about Ahmaud Arbery's family.
Yes, I understood your question. I don't believe that we had before that.
Okay. Up until that name, had you ever heard of Ahmaud Arbery?
Oh, yes. I received the phone call. Well, I received the phone call, so I knew what the gentleman's name was after the fact.
All right. And the only phone call, well, I don't want to say the only phone call, but then you called Rocky, correct?
Yes.
And I'm not trying to trick you here. I just have a question.
No, go ahead.
If you knew immediately that you all couldn't do anything with this, why do you call Rocky to get involved when he's in the same circuit? Because he works for Ms. Johnson too, right?
If he would be, he had a whole lot more, he had longer tenure than I did.
Okay.
So he would be able to more eloquently explain that as far as the investigation goes, that's not going to be helped with out of our office. And he would be able to explain the process better of how soon would you be able to ask an attorney a question? And how soon would that contact be made? And maybe even who they would be talking to.
Okay. So it's not as though you were asking him to give the advice.
No.
It's just, hey, you know this better than I do. Rocky,
Exactly.
can you handle this?
Yes.
Okay. And with that, were you also kind of passing on the duty, not the duty, but the job of having Rocky talk to Jackie Johnson about whatever needs to be relayed to her?
I'm pretty sure I probably relayed to her that night, hey, here's what the officers told me. Here's what I told them. Then I called you, John B., and Rocky.
And after you talked to Investigator Lowry, it was your understanding there was a burglary. Mr. Arbery had come out of the house and then was shot. Is that what you understood?
For the most part, he believed there was a burglary. They followed the individual. At some point, they stopped. And then there was whatever was between Mr. Ahmaud Arbery and Travis McMichael.
So what you understood from the police department was it was not what we would call a burglary in progress. No one was inside of a house. It was after a burglary, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So I want to make sure I understand something. In the conversations that Jackie Johnson had with the victim's family, you said that she indicated that if she was unhappy with the opinion of the next prosecutor, she would then call the AG's office and see if it would be assigned to a different prosecutor?
No, sir. If the family was not happy with the decision of the prosecutor, she would call the AG's office and ask for another conflict attorney to look at the file.
Okay. And so is it your understanding that she told the family that if the family's not happy with what Barnhill decides, when I say Barnhill, him being the second
Understood.
prosecutor, she would call the AG's office and have someone else assign?
Well, she would see if they would assign somebody else to look at the file.
Okay. To your knowledge, can one district attorney disqualify a different district attorney?
I have no idea, sir.
Okay. Now, when you told Mr. Arbery the word self-defense, he got upset, didn't he?
He did.
You're talking about his son,
Exactly.
right? And it actually turns out that Mr. Arbery was right. Fair to say?
The jury says so.
Okay. And in the initial conversation, when you had with Gary Cook and the other ones, that was not because of the district attorney's office reaching out to the Arbery family. The family actually had to come reach out to the district attorney's office and say, can we have a meeting?
Yes, that's my understanding.
Like you said about Miss Wanda was pretty unhappy, and you said that was on May 5th, right?
The next day after we met with Mr. Marcus and Mr. Gary and Mr. Gary.
And you said that May 5th was also the day the video came out, wasn't it?
Would have been March 5th that we met with the family the first time, and then May 5th that the video came out, is my understanding.
Maybe I wrote down a wrong number. When did you talk to Miss Wanda on the phone?
That would have been the day after we met with Mr. Marcus and Mr. Gary the first meeting.
Now, you did say what we call the Tom Jump letter, the letter that Mr. Barnhill sent to Tom Jump. You know which letter I'm talking about, right? And you said that was April 7th that you met with the family.
I do believe that's the day.
Because what was important was you kind of wanted to meet with them before this hits the public. Is that fair? And it's for decency purposes, so that you let them know
It's-
what's coming. No, I'm not trying to,
And that's more of the thing. I would rather know from somebody rather than seeing it on the news media.
that would be almost
That was
any case. right?
Correct.
A lot of times why they withhold the names of a victim, so they can notify the family, all of that sort of stuff. Is that fair?
Correct. It's fair.
When is your understanding of when Jackie Johnson knew about the Tom Jump letter?
I don't know. I know she showed it to me that morning just before we went in to meet with the family.
That's all I have, Judge.
Anything on redirect?
No, I just got one or two questions, if that's okay with the court.
That's right.
When Ms. Johnson was talking to Mr. Arbery and telling him that if the family was not satisfied with the DA, that the case had gone to, that she would speak to or reach out to the Attorney General's office, she wasn't saying anything about her ability to disqualify any office, was she?
No, it was just, she would put in a request to have somebody else look at the case.
And I heard the question asked of you whether Ms. Johnson was one who reached out to Marcus and Gary Arbery and Gary Cook for that initial meeting. And that's not the case. They actually reached out to her office. Is that right?
Correct.
And it was not a situation where she said, I don't want to talk to them or I can't talk to them. She, in fact, wanted them to come in so she could explain the process to them. Am I right about that?
That is correct.
All right. Thank you. That's all I've got.
No recross, Your Honor.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
May she be excused.
You may be excused.
Thank you, sir.
You have another witness that's relatively short?
We do. We've also got, can we step up?
Sure that there are a couple of witnesses that will take no more than 5 minutes. Do you want to go ahead and do them this afternoon? Y'all okay with that? All right, 2 more witnesses, short ones this afternoon, okay? And then we'll defer till in the morning. Call your next witness.
Robert Rash.
Robert Rash.
Can somebody text Jay and let him know we'll meet him in the morning?
Now, if these witnesses take more than 5 minutes, do not hold that against the lawyers, hold it against me. It's my promise to you, not theirs. Come on down, Noel. You, Mr. Rash, come on down. Raise your right hand for me, please. The evidence you'll give is sworn or affirmed to be the truth, so help you God. Speak loudly enough so that all the jury can hear you. Introduce yourself to them and spell your name.
I am Deputy Robert Rash. That's Robert common spelling, last name Rash, R-A-S-H.
Thank you. You can all hear, can't you?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
How are you this afternoon?
I'm good, sir.
If you would please state where are you currently employed?
The Glenn County Sheriff's Office.
Okay, now back on December 23rd, 2020, where were you employed?
The Glenn County Police Department.
And how long had you worked there?
Since May of 2011.
Okay, so you were there approximately 9 years?
Yes, sir.
All right. If I could direct your attention to specifically December 20th, 2019, and I know you've got a folder with you. Since I'm not 100% positive what's in there, if you need to refresh your recollection, if you could let us know, probably myself and Mr. Fowler would need to look at it. But you're welcome to look at whatever you need to. Okay. Just let us know so we can see it.
Transcript from my earlier testimony.
Okay, from the trial of
the trials. Yes, sir.
Okay, and I believe you also have a copy of a text message in there.
It's on my phone, but I did not bring my phone in here with me.
Okay.
It's in the rotunda out there if I need to retrieve it.
We'll see if I can do it quickly. Okay. So how did you become involved in the Satilla Shores investigations?
Satilla Shores is in an area of Glenn County known as Baker 9. It's the southwest corner of the county. I patrolled that area on a regular basis, had done so for multiple years. I grew up in that area, moved out there in 1980, grew up out there until graduated high school and lived there out there after graduating high school for a short time before moving away.
And did you have a call or occasion to speak with one of the homeowners out there, Mr. English?
Yes, I did.
Please describe that interaction for the jury.
Mr. English had made a phone call into dispatch in reference to someone trespassing on the property.
And do you recall that address?
220 Satilla Shores.
And was that a home that was under construction in Satilla Shores?
It was.
All right. Or remodeling, some type of construction?
New construction, under construction.
Okay. And what was your interaction with Mr. English?
He had called in reference to someone trespassing on the property. Mr. English lived in Douglas, Georgia. He was not on scene, so we first communicated via phone call, and I responded out to the property looking for the individual.
Okay, and then while you were out there, did you canvass the area?
Yes, I did.
And as part of that canvassing the area, did you come into contact with Greg McMichael?
Not on the first occasion.
Okay. Well, when did you come into contact with Mr. McMichael as it relates
on December 20th, while patrolling the area. There was not an actual call that day for anyone trespassing, but canvassing the area. Greg McMichael was out in his front yard. He walked as I drove by. He walked out towards the road, and I stopped and rolled the window down and spoke to him out the window of the patrol car.
Okay, and did you advise him why you were there?
Yes.
Okay, and then based on y'all's conversation, did you then in turn contact Mr. English?
I did.
And how did you do that?
Sent Mr. English a text. While talking with Greg, he knew of the incidents, had heard of some through the Facebook pages, what had went on. We discussed it, and he provided me his phone number and asked me if I would pass it on to Mr. English, that he knew Mr. English did not live local, and if Mr. English ever needed any assistance or needed someone to check on his property, he would gladly do so. So I sent Mr. English a text in reference to that.
And you do not have a copy of that text message in front of you?
It's my phone's out there in the rotunda, sir. I don't have it with me.
If I may approach, would it refresh your recollection to be able to view a copy of the text
Yes.
message? Your Honor, may I approach? I've shown Mr. Fowler.
Okay.
And do you recognize that text message, Officer Rash?
I do. That's a screenshot from my phone.
Okay, and then that is the actual contents, unedited contents of the message the last time you saw it or when you sent it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, would you please read that message for the jury?
Says your neighbor at 220 Satilla Drive is Greg McMichael. Greg is a retired law enforcement and also a retired investigator from the DA's office. He said, please call him day or night when you get action on your cameras. His number is, and the number's redacted, I'm not sure.
Whatever the phone number was.
Yes, sir. And that's the end of the message.
Thank you. All right, did anyone direct you to give him that information?
Did anyone what, sir?
Direct you to give Mr. English, Mr. McMichael's information?
No, sir.
Did Jackie Johnson ask you to give?
No, sir.
Okay. This is something you did yourself?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And why did you do that?
Well, with his law enforcement experience, if anything was to happen out there, Greg, I felt like with his training, knowledge, and experience in law enforcement, he would be a good witness, being able to know what to look for and what to relay to dispatch, as in clothing, description, vehicle description, direction of travel, any and all of the above. And he offered to assist Mr. English if he needed anything looked after on his property. He said, pass the number on.
And I believe you previously testified that you thought he would be an expert witness.
Yes.
Okay, that's correct.
I believe if that's the terminology in the, yes.
Okay. Did you, after setting up this expert witness, did you take any steps to let other officers at the Glenn County Police Department know that he was out there?
The other officer, myself and other officers had spoke about what was going on out there. Mr. English was also in contact with other officers via text or cell phone. We just briefly spoke in passing, like, yeah, I've rode around, I've talked to people, but did I tell them directly that I passed his phone on? I can't recall that.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions.
Questions?
I don't have any questions, Judge.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Call your next witness.
Caitlin Roberts.
Raise your right hand, please. The evidence you'll give is sworn or affirmed to be the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Have a seat. Speak loudly enough so that all members of the jury can hear you. Introduce yourself and spell your name.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm Caitlin Roberts, K-A-T-E-L-Y-N. Roberts, common spelling.
Everybody here okay?
All right, Ms. Roberts, thank you for coming this afternoon. It's been a while since you and I have actually had any interactions? I used to call you Officer Roberts. What's the correct title today?
You can call me Caitlin.
All right. Well, probably have to call you Miss Roberts in here.
That's
but-
fine.
How are you currently employed?
I'm sorry, sir.
How are you currently employed?
I'm an instructor at Federal Law Enforcement Training Center.
Okay. And how long have you had that position?
Almost 3 years.
All right. And how were you employed, or prior to that, where did you work?
Glenn County Police Department.
And do you recall the dates that you worked there, when you started, when you stopped?
May 2011 to May of 2002, 22.
All right. Thank you. And you were a post-certified law enforcement officer?
Yes, sir.
And briefly describe your career at the Glenn County Police Department.
I was assigned to patrol. I was assigned to investigations. When I left, I was a supervisor over the K-9 unit. I was on the SWAT team. Do you need more? Or?
I think that's sufficient.
Yes,
What was the position you held on February 23rd, 2020?
I was a patrol officer. At the time, I was acting in an FTO function, so I was training another officer.
All right. And did you respond to the call at Satilla Shores?
Yes, sir.
And at that time, did you have occasion to encounter Greg McMichael?
Yes, sir.
All right. And I had previously shown you a video out in the hallway before you came in.
Yes, sir.
And did that truly and accurately represent the scene depicted?
Yes, sir. It's a video.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Okay. What number are we on? 12. Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to tender Jackie's Exhibit 12 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor. I think at some point it needs to be put on a thumb drive or something like that, but no objection.
We will tender it to the clerk. Mr. Kakumo, if you could please play the video.
Hey, Greg.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. You're doing this. I do know, Greg.
Everybody hear this?
I think I will take.
Let's
I can barely hear it.
let's back that up and increase the volume, please.
Hey, Greg.
How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Good.
You're doing this. I do know, Greg.
I think I will take him down.
Yeah, he's going to have the interview.
Yeah. Y'all don't put him in cuffs, are you?
No. Why would he be in cuffs?
Well, I can't see him through that.
No, he's in the ambulance right now. We're cleaning some of the blood off.
I got you.
All right, you recall that incident?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you walked up, you said, "Hey, Greg, did you recognize Mr. McMichaels?"
Yes.
And
After he was pointed out, I didn't initially recognize who he was.
okay, and who did you know him to be? What was your relationship to him?
He was an investigator for the district attorney's office,
Um,
and that's how I knew him.
okay. Did anyone describe him to you as an expert witness?
No, sir.
That's all the questions I have, Judge.
You didn't have anything to do with the investigation in this case against Jackie Johnson, right?
No, sir.
That's all I have, Judge.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, those are our two. Take your orders from the sheriff about your appearance in the morning. We probably won't start in here till about 9:30 in the morning. Okay? Don't discuss the case among yourselves or listen to any discussion of it. You know the drill. You may leave now. Everybody else stay where you are and quiet.
All rise for the jury.
I just wanted them to know that they might, for 30 minutes. And we'll get here. We might get here on time, but I want to give myself 30 minutes. All right, the jury has exited. You can talk if you like.
Are we in recess, Your Honor?
Yeah, we will be. We're in recess, but can't leave until the jury gets gone.
Understood. I just wanted to make sure I could walk around and talk to Agent Steinberg.
Oh, yeah.
That sort of thing.
And the court reporter you can leave if you want. Might get one of the people to walk you out if you want me to.
Jamie, you can sit. Sir? The world putting you in that.
Are we having fun yet?
That's square chairs.
That's a good way to answer that. That's a real good way to answer that.
That was the moment. Yeah. Yeah, it's working.
All right, y'all. It's time for us to end this and go to bed. Thank you, everybody, for your time here. We're going to go to bed now. See y'all later. Good night, everyone. See ya tomorrow. Night, night.
Thank you for watching the infamous Sylvia channel, where laughter and fun make up our panel. Together we build this digital spree. We appreciate you and our growing family. With mods by our side and chat flowing free in this online space. It's just you and me. We laugh until tears roll down like the rain. In this virtual world, you ease all my pains. We're family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. We cherish the moments, the highs and lows, from the latest gossip to stories untold. You're more than a viewer, you're part of the crew in this space of ours. It's all because of you. This digital world where emotion is shared, every post and reaction showing we care. The love is real in this virtual domain. With every sign and joys we'll both gain. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. This digital world where emotion is shared, every post and reaction showing we care. The love is real in this virtual domain. With every sign, enjoys what we'll gain. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Minds in check, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night.